I thought I'd update everybody on the performance of my vehicle after driving it for 2 years. I made those earlier videos in February of 2009. It's now just about the end of July 2010, so a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. But I've been driving the vehicle since November 1st of 2008, so approaching 2 years. In that time, I've done about 8,000 or 10,000 kilometers. I guess you could call that 6,000 or 7,000 miles. And in that entire time, I've done absolutely no mechanical or electrical repairs to the vehicle whatsoever. The only thing that I've done is I've topped up the batteries one time. It cost me about $4 worth of distilled water, but that's it. Nothing else has gone wrong. No maintenance, no upkeep, no spark plugs, no oil changes, because I don't have spark plugs and oil changes and oil. So I wanted to update you because I received something in my mail a couple of days ago from General Motors here, and I wanted to share with you what they've done. So here's the latest. There you go. So this is another iteration of the Chevy Truck Owners Network. I wonder how I join that. Do I have to drive a Chevy or can I drive a Toyota? So in the publication that they put out in 2008, late 2008, early 2009, the one that I referred to before, David Peterson, or Patterson, the Vice President of Corporate and Environmental Nonsense of General Motors, made comments about coming technologies like ethanol and hydrogen. And in that previous video, I discussed the ridiculousness of hydrogen. And it's still true. Hydrogen is still ridiculous. It still comes from natural gas. And by extracting hydrogen from natural gas, you release carbon dioxide. So you might as well just burn the natural gas. It would make more sense. And that's still true. But they made comments or alluded to how they were going to be a more environmentally conscious corporation. So when I received this one, here I was hopeful that I'd see something meaningful. But I thought I would share with you exactly what General Motors has done to improve their environmental record. So here it is. There you go. So that's the latest from General Motors on how to be more environmentally conscious. Apparently what it takes to do that is to build a bigger, heavier truck that can rip buildings off their foundation and that sort of nonsense. Well, good for them. I think they're missing the point. Over the same period, they've been talking a lot about their Chevy Volt, which is a series hybrid or a series electric vehicle. So it is a car with an onboard gasoline-powered engine. That engine does not drive the wheels. It drives a generator, an electricity generator, and the electricity from that generator feeds the batteries, and the batteries feed the electric motor, which drives the wheels. The efficiencies of that system are vastly below the efficiencies of an electric vehicle, but that aside, it seems to me that what the car companies gain from producing a vehicle like that, instead of just a pure electric vehicle, because if you were to take the gasoline engine and the onboard generator out, I don't know how much it would weigh, but it would weigh a bunch. If you were to replace that with batteries, you'd probably triple the range of the vehicle. So what's the purpose of the onboard generator? Well, it's there to make things break. It's there because piston engines break, and car companies make their money on broken piston engines and other broken parts. I think that's why they crush the EV-1s. I think that's why other car companies refuse to produce a pure electric vehicle en masse. And that's something that scared me about hybrid vehicles. While they're cool, a lot of technology there, I'm concerned about the long-term viability of a hybrid. They're massively complicated machines, and they will break. So like everything breaks, my electric vehicle will eventually, something will go wrong with it. But there's an awful lot less going on in there than with a hybrid vehicle. So a 20-year-old hybrid vehicle, I think, would probably make a very good boat anchor. But I can't see how they could be kept on the road for longer terms. Unlike even something like a piston engine car. I mean, you see 100-year-old ones of those occasionally. Certainly 50-year-olds and 30-year-olds. But I don't think you'll ever see a 20 or 30-year-old hybrid. They'll become completely unrepairable. I also wanted to update you on the cost of running my vehicle. So over that 8,000 odd or maybe 10,000 kilometers, the cost to run it is so low that I would really have trouble giving you a fixed number. My guess is it's costing me less than $20 a month to drive that vehicle. So it's so cheap, I don't even notice it on my electric bill. What else can I tell you about it? Well, like I said, no repairs. I plug it in, it charges up. I'm particularly happy with the charger that I have. It's made by Manzanita Micro. The advantage to this charger is you can plug into 110 or 220 and it doesn't care. And I have had to charge up, maybe 2 or 3 times on a 110 volt supply. When I do, or most often when I'm charging off of 110, again, not that it's happened all that often, but quite often, the plug that I plug into is a ground fault type of plug. I think you have to have those in outdoor outlets. Well, my vehicle has an onboard relay. The relay is used to send a signal to the Zilla controller to tell the Zilla controller that we're connected to ground power. So the vehicle will not drive away when it's connected to ground power. The relay is a 110 volt relay, but because I normally plug into 120 volts, what I've done is I've run the relay from one side of the 220 to ground. I shouldn't do that, but I did. What happens when I plug into 110 volts is that looks like a ground fault, because it is a ground fault. So the ground fault indicator outlet, or ground fault interrupter outlet that I plug into will immediately trigger and I won't get a charge. Well, that relay is on a socket, so I just pull the relay out of the socket and then I'm able to charge. That's probably it. I still like to drive it. I still like what it stands for. The longer I own it, the more I enjoy it because it continues to produce no CO2 and continues to produce no bills. Oh, one other thing I thought I'd mention about lithium-ion batteries, to state it a little more clearly than I did before. Lithium-ion batteries will deliver 80% of their power. So the batteries that I have now are lead-acid batteries. They will only deliver about 50% of their power. If I had a battery pack rated exactly the same in lithium-ion instead of lead-acid, the lead-acids I have are rated at 220 amp hours. So I can only get about 110 of that. With lithium-ion, because they will deliver 80% of their power, the same battery would deliver 176 amp hours. So that would increase my range dramatically. Also, that same battery pack would weigh about 1,000 pounds less. So you can tag on a bunch more range because I'm not carrying around 1,000 pounds worth of weight. Lastly, lithium-ion batteries are much more happy to deliver their power even when it's cold. It doesn't get really cold in my part of the world. It doesn't get to 50 below or anything like that, but it snows a little bit in the winter. It's fairly temperate though. But nonetheless, lithium ions would be better if I had them. Anyway, there's your update. Thought you might want to know. Leave a comment. I'd like to hear other people's experiences. Thanks a bunch. Bye.